We're in the what is known as the green room of McCormick Place, and across the microphone is a woman. Let me go a little further on this point. We're so accustomed, I think, in our country and the world today to think of little girls and little boys, rarely of men and women. Marlene Dietrich, actress, woman, is our guest this morning. Miss Dietrich, when I made this reference, did this seem strange to you, the reference I just made?
No, no.
Because I'm thinking in terms, how can I explain this? There's a certain, I'm sure the people who have seen you or have met you, I don't know those who have met you, but the comments you've made indicate someone who has a certain wisdom about you that poets describe as a womanly wisdom.
Well, I'm very happy that you think so.
My first impression of you was a film, as a moviegoer, and it was the movie The Blue Angel with Emil Jannings, directed by
Yes.
Fritz Sternberg. And immediately there was sort of an explosion on the screen, seeing you and Mr. Jannings. And this is a question that I'm sure will never be answered. The Berlin of that period, the Blue Angel period, the Berlin of that period was probably the most exciting period of any country at any time. The city of Berlin had Kurt Weill, Bertolt Brecht Experimental Theater, had the German painters, had Klee, Kandinsky, had Reinhardt, Piscator. You were a young actress of that period. Do you remember that? Does that period and the significance of it mean something to you now?
Well, yes, at that time it was habit. I didn't know it was something special then. But now I know what a great period it was. At that time, naturally, being in the Reinhardt School, I didn't know as much about it as I know now.
Did you go to the Reinhardt School?
Yes. And he made us play in all his plays. He had 4 theaters at the time. And we played one sentence in the first act in one play and then had to go to the other theater and play in the second act. And all I had done that far was to say the horses are saddled in one play and here's a letter for you, my lady, in the other play. But that's how he gave us stage experience. And when I was picked by Mr. von Sternberg to do the Blue Angel, everybody was shocked, including the UFA, which made the picture, that he trusted this role to a beginner. But he was adamant, and so they all bowed to his wishes, but they weren't very happy about it.
In thinking of this film, the role you played, the eternal woman, the woman who can't help it, as you sing in that song,
Yes?
as against this professorial figure that was played by Emil Jannings. Did this film, to us, it seemed as though it was a prophetic film, as though the intellectual were being made the clown, were taking the beating, and of course this is what did happen.
Yes, this way it might be prophetic. At that time it wasn't, naturally not. Because it was a famous book by Heinrich Mann, which naturally Mr. von Sternberg changed a lot to make a film out of it.
The question that is often asked, I suppose, of you is how did it happen? The city of so much richness and culture, what is it? Because you, in recent years, I believe, returned to Germany to appear on the stage there.
Yes, I toured all Europe, and I also went to Germany. Well, I don't know what happened. You see, I was lucky enough to be out of Germany when Hitler came in. And I've been credited with a lot of courage, which I think is undeserved, because I was outside and I could see it from the outside. Therefore, I could make my choice much easier, because I was informed about everything. Because I left Germany right after making The Blue Angel, and I came here in 1931.
You came in, do you remember the period, and I returned to Blue Angel because this, I'm sure, is one of the most fascinating periods in the history of theater and of art, this very exciting city. Do you have memories of that time when you were this fledgling actress working for Reinhardt?
Yes, except that, you know, when you are that young, you really do not understand enough. And I only know now what a great time it was, now that I've read all about it. And because you know how it is, your own youth makes so much noise you don't hear anything else.
Has the thought of playing Jenny in Drag Russian Opera ever occurred
Yes,
to you?
yes.
It has.
Yes, because we were all up for it from the Reinhardt School, and one girl from the school got the part, but I didn't. We wanted to make a picture, And there was a German film that Mr. Keutner was going to make, but he hasn't made it yet. But I'm going to sing some songs. The Barbara song, if you know it.
You will? Will you
Yes.
do this at
Not
here?
here.
But you are going to sing the Barbara song from Threepenny?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You'd make a marvelous Pirate Jenny, it occurs to me. With the... We come, if we may, since you're performing tonight at the McCormick Place
Yes.
and Saturday night, we think of the songs you sing, the manner which you sing. You are not a Birgit Nilsson when it comes to the idea of the actual voice. It is rather the interpretation.
Yes,
Isn't it?
that's why I always have to choose songs that have words that I can do something with. And when I find that, it's wonderful. For instance, I have a French song called Marie Marie, which to me is one of the most beautiful songs ever written. The words are just sheer poetry. But then again, you find in American popular songs, you find great poetry. I remember when I came to this country, I was quite astonished because in Europe you usually do not have poetry in popular songs. But in America you have.
This is a very interesting comment, the one you're just making, that in pop songs, in popular songs
Mhm.
here, you refer not only to Rodgers and Hammerstein.
No,
you
in
mean just
popular
in
tunes.
Popular tunes.
Yes. They have absolute poetic lines.
You mean the idea that a phrase that may be used every day, a slang expression, something vernacular itself, has its own poetry?
No, I think that the people that write lyrics in America are poets, many of them. In Europe, these kind of people would write poetry. Here they write lyrics.
But I said, aren't there popular songs, though, in Europe? I'm just wondering, isn't the French cafe song a popular song? Or,
No,
or
not
the song, say,
necessarily,
that a Piaf sings, isn't that?
That's not popular,
Not
no.
popular.
No. She makes it popular in her song, but not everybody sings them, no.
So this is strictly an American phenomenon.
Yes, it is.
So
It
you
is.
found this. You look then for songs. It's interesting. The lyric intrigues you then,
That is
doesn't it?
right.
It is
Yes.
the lyric.
Yes, it's a lyric.
Because you not only sing it, I
I
assume
sing
that-
an entire song just for one lyric.
Would you mind explaining that just a bit? You sing an entire song for
Well,
one lyric.
For one line, I mean.
Yeah.
For instance, I remember when I worked for the OSS, they told me I could pick songs because everything was done in a hurry, and they were having German lyrics written for American tunes, which were sent over the Black Sender at Luxembourg. And I quickly, in one afternoon, had to pick a lot of songs that I knew. And for instance, I picked Annie Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Now, this is an absolutely poetic lyric. Because there's one line in there, she said I would know you by the blue in your eyes. Well,
There's
this
a
is
line.
poetry, no?
And you like that
Yes,
line.
and that's why I sang the whole song.
By the way, you sing that in German, too, and he doesn't
Yes.
live here anymore.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
is that on the Capitol album?
No, that's on the OSS
on the
album. It's
OSS
called Lily
album.
Marlene.
Oh,
Columbia.
That has Lily Marlene as a
Yes,
title song.
yes.
Since you mentioned the OSS album, this is part of legend now, part of history. Your work as an entertainer overseas. I imagine you were certainly one of the most, if not the most, popular one. What was your reaction? Of course, this may seem like a cliche question. There you were with the GIs, no doubt that they're homesick. Your reaction on stage and singing to the...
Well, it was a
lonesome, faraway
wonderful
kids.
profession because you had a chance just by being there to make a lot of people happy, which in life you don't often have. I think it's very difficult to make one person happy. It's easier to make a lot of them happy. And in the war, they were hungry for it, and it was a great satisfaction. That's why I stayed so long.
I'm interested in what you just said. It is easier to make a lot of people happy than it is to make one person
That's
happy.
right.
It's a rather
Isn't that right?
interesting. Would you mind expanding that a bit? Or is it...
Well, I think every woman and even every man might find that so. It's difficult to make one person happy. If you try very hard, sometimes it's just the wrong thing to do.
I'm thinking of you now. There are so many aspects to the artist, Marlene Dietrich. We think of you as a film actress, as a singer, as entertainer. And in our country, the way it's conceived, we say celebrity, too.
Mm-hmm.
But we take or leave this phrase. This is contingent upon your...
Leave it.
We leave it.
All right.
Now, if we come to the matter of acting, the Stanley Kramer film, The Judgment of Nuremberg, and Saturday Review this week speaks of your interest. You were interested in this role. of
Yes,
the...
it's a very good part. That's why.
Simple as that,
Yes.
at the part. Do you find this more and more the idea of digging into...
Well, I always
yeah.
had that, except I never got the good parts. Because in the days I worked in Hollywood, the seductive woman never had good parts. It was never written on paper. When the story didn't go well anymore, they said, oh, we just take a close-up of her, and make it up. And I never got good parts until Billy Wilder came along. And he gave me a good part in For an Affair and again in Witness. But I had very bad parts, always. If you would read them on paper today, you wouldn't believe it.
This is a case that is depending wholly, they depended, the producer, director, upon your individual virtuosity to carry it off.
Yes, and that was
nothing
very
else.
difficult.
And nothing else.
Very
Well, you
difficult.
succeeded admirably. You fooled us.
I had never had any dialogue to speak of either. I had to say yes or no.
It's interesting that it was Billy Wilder, because he was a product of
Yes.
this Middle Europa
That's
school.
right. Mm-hmm.
And he was able to sense that.
Mm-hmm.
If we may, in reading about perhaps America's finest writer, because I know he admired you very much, Hemingway.
Yes.
You've been asked many times, what are your feelings about Hemingway and what you feel is his place in the American scene? This is a cliche question again.
Well,
but
it isn't,
I know.
except that to me Hemingway was all important. I don't know very much about what place he should have or had. It was all very personal.
There's something he said, at least has been attributed to him, that is a high compliment to you. He said he goes to New York for two reasons. He said to see his publisher for purposes of his pocketbook, and to see Marlene Dietrich for the good of his soul.
Yeah. He did my soul good too.
Well, I'm sure there's a reason for this, again, and that's the reason why I, as an interviewer, find Marlene Dietrich an attractive human being. I think we hear this in the songs you sing. Again, it is not the voice as such, but the manner, the interpretation that you offer it. I mean, there is a person singing a song. There's a person, as you say, you seek a certain lyric, a certain line in it there.
Yes, I have to love the line, otherwise I just as well not sing the song. That's why it's so very difficult for me to find songs. Because most of the time the very beautiful songs have a lot of range, which I don't have.
It amounts then to you being an actress as well as, I mean, you act a song. Apparently a song becomes sort of a vignette rather than a song.
Yes, I think one has to do that, no? I mean, not that I compare myself with her, but the greatness of Piaf is the acting, too. I think what she does after the song is finished is great acting. In some of the songs, she just does gestures.
Yes.
And I think Piaf is a great actress.
Yes. The song Bravo pour la clown.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 minutes, you have the story.
And St. Peter, when she says, let me into paradise, and when the song is over and he does 2 steps forward. That's all she does, and she's going in.
There's a story told about Piaf. This is this one that you know. Mm-hmm. The way she just can touch a shoulder or something suggests far more than the little children who seek to do it. Well, Miss Dietrich, this tour, is this part of your life now, the tour you're conducting now on this?
Well, yes, I've been working all year, but now I go back home and I don't do anything before Christmas because I've just written the book and I've just finished it.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Would you mind just enlightening us on that?
Well, the book is called Dietrich's ABC. It's a dictionary. And I talk all about the subjects I know something of. And I give my opinions on all sorts of things. And that's about all.
Is it in the form of a dictionary? Is that it?
Yes.
It's a form of a dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
A is
from A to Z, yeah.
I see. Perhaps one last question. The question I started asking in the beginning. It's been written up. Your return, when you returned to Germany after a number of years' absence, what was the reaction of the people toward you? Because you had taken stands and commitments. You said the people were fine. I'm sorry.
People were wonderful audiences. Wonderful. Some press attacked me. But then, it didn't matter.
Well, this is
much.
interesting. I mean, I don't want to probe this. Some of the press attacked you. Was it because of your stand? Is that it?
Yes.
Your condemnation
Yes.
of...
Yes. Well,
We'll let that speak for itself.
yes.
And Marlene Dietrich,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Goodbye.